Hey there. So I was working with some teachers at the high school, and they were showing me what they had determined in terms of how to calculate their growth targets for their SLOs. And I noticed a lot of it was rather heavily dependent upon gradebook data. And looking at that, we kind of sat down and devised a way that we could do this using Google Spreadsheets. And in Google Spreadsheets, if we can get gradebook data into Google Spreadsheets, there's a lot of automation that we can do. It's a lot less manual calculation, just coming up with some strategic formulas to tease out whatever kind of information you need. My goal in showing you this is to just demonstrate the process and the power of Google Spreadsheets. Very unlikely are you going to have the exact same methodology for arriving at your growth measure, but if you're using gradebook data, I think Google Spreadsheets could probably save you a lot of time from having to sit down and using a calculator to churn out numbers. Now, just so this demonstration can make some sort of sense, I'm going to show you what these particular teachers were up to. Their team decided that they wanted to average, they wanted to get all the points earned versus points possible for all the quizzes across the first 3 marking periods in each course for the year. They also wanted to get the points earned versus points possible for all the tests that were given for the first 3 marking periods of the year. They want to average that, and you could think of that average as sort of the yearly average. The next step is to take that yearly average and compare it back to the pretest that was given at the very beginning of the year. Now, first off, that yearly average of all quizzes and all tests across 3 marking periods has to average out to be better than 60%. If it's not better than 60%, which is passing at the high school, then the growth target is automatically not met. Now, even if they hit the 60% mark, the next thing to look at is if it is greater than or equal to 60%, is they want the student to get at least halfway to 100% in terms of improvement when comparing the pretest to that yearly average. A rather straightforward example would be, let's say the student scores a 50% on the pretest, which would be relatively high if they were to do that. The course grade would then have to be 75% or higher for the student to meet the growth target. If you take the difference between 50% and 100%, that's 25%. So they're saying it has to be at least halfway to 100% as compared to the pretest. 50 plus 25, 75%. It has to be 75% or higher. And this is what the calculation inside Google Spreadsheet will have to do for all kids within the course, and of course then all the other courses that the teacher has on their roster. And now that we fully understand the problem, let's jump into Gradebook. And in part 1 of this demo, I'll show you how to get the gradebook data out of Gradebook and up into Google Spreadsheets.